I'm going to go sit on my mat. So again, just finding your comfortable space, lying down or seated, maybe softening or closing the eyes. If you don't want to close the eyes, just maybe lowering your gaze downward. Or if you're lying down, just softening your gaze to the ceiling. And we're just going to begin with a quick body scan. So just starting to notice any tactile sensations that you're feeling in your body. Notice the temperature of the air on your skin, on your hands and your feet, or even on your face, or your arms. Maybe the feeling of your clothing, if they're tight or loose. And taking your awareness to your feet, just noticing any sensation that you're feeling in the feet, the toes, the heels. And starting to notice the legs, the calf muscles, the knee joints, and any other sensations that you notice along the way. If you're sore anywhere, if you feel any sensations of tension or relaxation, numbness or aliveness. Maybe noticing the muscles in the upper legs, the quadricep muscles, the hamstrings, the inner thighs, the hips. The base of the spine, the lower belly. Anytime your mind wanders, know that that's okay. Remind yourself that that's okay. That's what the mind does. It likes to wander. Just jump back in wherever we are. Starting to bring our awareness up the spine and into the torso, the abdomen. Again, just noticing any sensations that you feel here. Maybe you're hungry, it's almost supper time, the tummy is rumbling. Maybe you feel some tension in the lower back. And starting to bring our awareness upward to the rib cage, maybe noticing the breath here. And just maybe noticing the movement of the rib cage as you breathe in and out. You don't have to change the breath, just noticing if you feel it here. If the breath is a little more shallow, you might just feel it in the chest or the throat. Notice any sensations that you feel in the shoulders, the arms, the muscles, the bones, the joints. Back of the shoulders, the neck, the muscles in the face, and all the way to the crown of the head. And then just be aware of your whole body. What it feels like to be lying down or seated. Notice the points of contact between your body and the surface below you. If you're on a yoga mat or a cushion or a chair. And then I invite you to start to bring your awareness back to your breath. Again, just noticing where you feel the breath in the body. And notice what the breath feels like. Is it shallow? Is it deep? Is it wide? Is it long? Are the inhales longer than the exhales? Or the exhales longer than the inhales? Notice if you're clenching anywhere or holding anywhere in the body that the breath might want to go to, like the jaw or the shoulders. See if you can let them drop down a little bit, let them soften. Notice if there's any holding or clenching in the chest. When we're fearful or anxious, we tend to round forward and close the heart inward. See if you can soften the heart space. Let the chest open by rolling the shoulders gently back, even if you're on the floor. Letting the rib cage open as you breathe in and soften as you breathe out. And here we'll just gently start to smooth out the breath. Inhaling through the nose, and you can exhale through the nose or the mouth, whatever feels more comfortable today. Inhaling, feeling a sense of expansion into the rib cage. And then exhaling, softening deeply. Notice if you're holding the abdominal muscles in, and as you inhale, let them also lengthen and soften and expand with the rib cage. And then exhale, let all that go. And then whether you're seated or lying down, we'll start to inhale the arms up and overhead. And as you inhale and reach the arms up and overhead, lengthen through the spine. And then as you exhale, just release the arms down. And we'll do that a few more times. Inhale, lengthening the arms up as you allow the breath to move into the body. And then exhale, release. We'll do that about 2 more times. Inhale, lengthening, and exhale, releasing. Inhale, and exhale, let it go. And now if you're lying down, you can hug the knees into the chest, maybe roll over to one side, and then roll yourself up to a comfortable seated position. And if you're sitting, we'll just stay here. We're going to start to gently mobilize the neck with the breath. So I want you to think of the spine. You can keep the eyes closed and just visualize the spine, the back of the neck, from the shoulders upwards to the crown of the head, lengthening. So the chin is just slightly down. We're not compressing the throat, but the chin is just slightly down, so there's some length through the back of the neck. Shoulders are back and down. And we're going to move from what's called the dens. So the very top of the spine, our very top vertebrae, has a little hole or a little space in it for the second vertebrae, and it sits on top of that little nodule. And so our top 2 vertebrae have the most range of motion. It's our pivot point. So when we move with the breath, we're going to think about rotating from this very top pivot point in our spine first, so from those very top 2 vertebrae. And if you want to visualize this space, it's from about the crown of the head downwards. So you can imagine a string coming down from the crown of the head, down the back of the neck, and then from the bottom of the ears, across the back of the neck. And where those 2 strings meet is about where that pivot point is. So as you inhale, we're just going to sit up nice and tall and lengthen through the spine. And then as you exhale, you're going to tip the head forward from that pivot point, from those top 2 vertebrae. And just exhaling all the way out. And then as you inhale, we're just going to come back up, lengthening, keeping the head neutral. So we're not lifting the chin, we're not tipping back, we're just getting nice and long. And then exhaling, just tipping the head forward again from that top pivot point, those top 2 vertebrae. And then inhaling, rising back up, getting nice and tall. And then exhaling, pivoting, chin slightly down towards the chest a little bit more. And we'll inhale, lengthen. And now as you do this, you might start to find more and more range of motion. So as you exhale, pivoting first from that dens, that top pivot point, the top two vertebrae, and then you can start to roll down the spine a little bit, rounding the neck just a little bit more. And then we'll inhale, rise back up. Let's just do that one more time. Nice and tall, and then exhale, pivoting first from the very top two vertebrae, and then maybe rolling down just a little bit further. And then we'll inhale all the way back up. So now pivoting laterally, side to side. So again, we're thinking about pivoting right from the very top. So sometimes when we do a neck stretch from the side, we tend to first rotate from the weakest point between the cervical spine and the shoulder, and then we get really crunchy. So we want to first rotate from the dens, that top pivot point. So we're going to do kind of the same thing, but now right ear towards the right shoulder. So inhale, lengthen first, get nice and tall. And then exhale, pivoting right from the top of the spine first, right ear towards right shoulder. Just keeping the rest of the neck nice and long. And then we'll inhale back up, nice and tall, and then left ear towards the left shoulder, right from the very top of the spine. And then inhale, get nice and tall again. Lengthen up through the crown of the head, shoulders down, and exhale, just a little pivot over to the right from the top of the spine first. And inhale back up, nice and tall. And then nice and slow, exhale over to the left. It's a small movement, so we tend to rush through it. Do this really mindfully. Again, you can close the eyes and just focus on what this feels like. We'll do one more to each side. Inhale, get nice and tall. Feel the whole spine lengthen. And then exhale, pivoting right from those top two vertebrae to the right. And then maybe just a little bit further, stretching the ear and the shoulder away from each other. And we'll inhale back up, nice and tall. And then exhale to the left, pivoting from the very top first. And then maybe rolling down just a little bit further. And then we'll inhale back up, nice and tall. So last movement here in our warm-up, we're going to twist. So keeping the spine neutral and just pivoting from that dens again, we're just looking over the right shoulder. So inhale again, nice and tall. Lengthen, 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 shoulders down. And then exhale, pivoting from the dens, just turning the head over the right shoulder. And then inhaling back to center. We're not going for a really big stretch here. Exhale to the left, pivoting from the very top of the spine. We're going for just range of motion first. Inhaling back to center. Noticing where all those tight spots are. Exhale to the right, nice and slow and mindfully. Again, you can do this with the eyes closed. Inhaling back through center, getting even taller, reaching through the crown of the head, shoulders relaxed down. Exhaling to the left side. We have one more round. Nice and slow. Inhaling to center. Exhaling to the right. Reminding yourself to pivot right from that top point in the spine. Inhale through center. Last time, exhale. Gentle twist to the left. And then inhale, come back to center. Let's just roll those shoulders after all that neck movement. So a little bit of a seated flow here. So you're going to take the hands and the arms out, palms face forward. Try to keep the rib cage down and press just the hands back as you open the chest. Inhale. And then exhale, right arm on top. Give yourself a nice big hug. We're going to lift the chin now. Inhale, open the throat. So allow the jaw to drop as you breathe in. And then exhale, chin to chest. And draw the top of the shoulders slightly down, and we'll pause here for one breath. Inhale, gently rounding the shoulder blades away from the spine. One more exhale here. And then as you inhale, lifting the head, unwinding the arms, we'll sweep them all the way up to the ceiling like you're holding a big beach ball overhead. Turn the pinky fingers slightly in, drop the shoulders down. Hold here, another breath. And then releasing on your exhale. And then we'll do that all again. So arms out, palms forward, anchor the rib cage down. Open the chest as you gently press the hands back and inhale. And then exhale, left arm on top. Give yourself a nice big hug. Lift the chin, open the throat, drop the jaw. Want lots of breath in that throat. And then exhale, chin to chest. Shoulders down, head relaxed. Whole breath here. Open the back of the heart. Exhale, let that head get heavy. Unwind the arms as you inhale, lifting the head, scooping those arms back up to the ceiling, turning the pinky fingers slightly in, holding that giant beach ball, shoulders are down. One more inhale, breathing up to those fingertips, and then exhale, releasing the arms. And again, you can roll those shoulders out. We're going to be doing a lot of upper back and neck stuff today, so roll it out whenever you need to. So if you have a ball, you can grab it now. We're going to come onto our backs for some mayo-fascial release. We're going to start with the right side. Again, you can do this breath work and movement with our ball. If you have a ball, we're placing it in the trapezius muscle, so it's our biggest shoulder muscle, right across the top of the shoulder, and it kind of wings out towards the shoulder blade. So you can move the ball around, find all those tight little places. And if you don't have a ball, just breathing here for a moment. So when you find one of those little trigger points with the ball, I'm just going to pause there for a moment. We're going to reach the right fingers up towards the ceiling. So with or without a ball, you can do this. We're going to reach the fingertips up like you're reaching the shoulder blade away from the spine, almost like you're lifting away from the ball. So we're inhaling here, and then we're going to exhale and pull the shoulder down towards the floor. So if you have a ball, you're adding a little bit of pressure into the ball. And we're going to hold for 3, 2, 1. Now we're going to inhale, reach back up. And then exhale, draw back down. And we're holding for 3, 2, 1. We're going to do that one more time. Inhale, reach. Exhale, draw down. Holding for 3, 2, 1. And then we're going to inhale the arm up above the head. Nice and slow, and then exhale the hand down by the hip. Inhale, reach the arm slowly up and overhead. And exhale, slowly down beside the hip. And now just start to move with your breath a few times here, nice and slow. Just noticing the movement of the shoulder, the upper back. Try to keep the back of the neck long. Throat is open, so you can still think on the inhale, dropping the bottom jaw a little bit to open that space. Just do a few more rotations here. We're going to do that all again. So if you're using a ball, you can move around, maybe find a new little spot. Move around for a moment, find those trigger points. If you don't have a ball, you can also use your opposite hand just to gently press into that muscle at the top of the shoulder. And if you find a trigger point, it's a spot that feels pretty knotty and tense, but the more you hold it and compress it, it starts to release. So once you've found that spot, we're going to reach those right fingertips back up to the ceiling. Doing one more round of this in a new spot now. We're going to reach the right fingers up towards the ceiling. Inhale, and then exhale, pull down towards the floor, pressing into the ball, or the floor, or your hand. 3, 2, 1. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, draw down. 3, 2, 1. One more time. Inhale, lift. Exhale, pull down. 3, 2, 1. And then we're going to slowly inhale that arm up overhead. Don't worry if the hand doesn't touch the floor. Just go as far as you can and then exhale beside the right hip. Inhale, lengthening that arm, just one arm. And then exhaling down beside the hip. And again, just a few rotations with your own pace of breath. You can also play with the position of the shoulder. So if you have the palm turned in, you can turn the palm up towards the ceiling. And then you can try turning it out so the thumb is down when the hand is down. So try moving the hand. It'll rotate the position of the shoulder and you might feel that pressure in a little bit of a different way. Make sure that you're using that breath, big deep breath in. If you need to, exhale out of the mouth. When we do this kind of work, we want to emphasize the exhale so that we're activating the parasympathetic nervous system, which is going to help release that tension in our physical body, moving us into our rest and digest. All right, one more spot here. So find one more new spot. We're going to do a different bit of mobility. Again, you can do this with or without the ball. So find your new spot, roll around for a moment. We're going to bring the arm into a cactus position. So it's going to feel pretty weird if you have a ball underneath there. The hand may not touch the floor. Palm is up towards the ceiling. Our arm is at a 90-degree bend. So the wrist and the elbow are in line, the elbow and the shoulder are in line. We're going to inhale here. And then you're going to exhale and just rotate the fingertips down. Just go as far as you can. And you can see I have very little range of motion with the ball underneath me. Inhale, open the palm back up. And exhale down. One more time. Discomfort is okay, pain is not. So if you need to, lean away from the ball, or you can take the ball right out. Right, now we are going to take the ball out. Now you can do this with or without a ball. I'm just going to sit up, but you can stay lying on the floor. You're going to take your ball in the opposite hand, or just your opposite hand, right into your pectoral muscle, right inside the shoulder joint. And now, if you have a ball, you're just going to roll that ball. And you can roll it around that shoulder joint, in towards the center of the chest, back towards the shoulder joint, and down into the armpit, in that pectoral muscle. If you don't have a ball, you can just use your fingers and just do like little circles. Oftentimes, when we have tension in those trapezius muscles, so in those big shoulder muscles on the back, it's because we're hunched forward all the time, and our pectoral muscles become shortened and tight. So we want to open those up, bringing us into that nice open posture and helping to release some of that tension in the back of the neck and the shoulders. So just doing those little circles. Remembering to use the breath, big breath in through the nose. And if you need to, out through the mouth. And we'll just do maybe 2 or 3 more breaths here. And then we're going to do this cactus mobility without the ball. So if you were using a ball, you're just going to set it off to the side, or you can hold it in that opposite hand. Coming back into that cactus position, now you might notice that, oh, my arm actually does touch the floor. We're going to inhale again. Palm is open to the ceiling, and then exhale, rotating the fingertips down. Notice how that feels compared to using the ball. Inhale back up, and exhale, fingertips down. Inhale back up, last time, and exhale back down. We're going to take those arms wide, big breath in, And then exhale the right arm on top again. Give yourself a big hug. Just going to hold here for a moment. If you want to, you can lift the head, bring the head into the chest, and then just gently rock from side to side. And then we'll inhale and open those arms back up. We're going to take that, well, actually both palms down, roll the shoulder blades in to the spine. You're going to bend that right elbow and just slide it underneath the curve of the lower back. And then see if, when we do this, it tends to internally rotate the shoulder. We want to see if we can snuggle that shoulder blade back into the spine and open that space up. And then if you can, you're going to look down your left arm towards your left fingertips. So now I notice this in the front of my chest and down my arm and in my shoulder because my right side is really tight. My left side is very different. I hardly feel it at all, but this is my tight side, so I definitely feel it on this side. And then we're just going to slide that right hand out. Turn the palms back up. Inhale the arms overhead. And exhale, hands down by the hips. Now you're going to grab your ball again. And now we're going to do that all to the left side. So you're going to take your ball to the back of that trapezius, that shoulder muscle. Move it around a little bit. Again, you don't have to use a ball. You can use your hand if you want to just gently grip that shoulder muscle and release it using your hand instead of a ball, or just pausing here for a moment to breathe. If you're using the ball or your hand, finding one of those trigger points. And then we'll take the left fingers up to the ceiling. I'm going to inhale, reach up towards the ceiling. And then exhale, add a little bit of pressure into the ball or your hand or towards the floor for 3, 2, 1. And then inhale, lift and reach towards the ceiling. And exhale, gently draw back down. 3, 2, 1. One more of these. Inhale, reach. Exhale, draw down. 3, 2, 1. And then inhale, reach that left arm up and overhead, just as far as you can. You don't have to touch the floor, that's not the goal. And then exhale down towards the hip. Inhale, arm back up overhead. And exhale down towards the hip. And again, just starting to move with your own pattern of breath, so your own pace. And if you don't have a ball at all, I really encourage you to play with the position of the hand. So palm down, palm in, palm up, rotate through that shoulder. You can do it with the ball as well. It adds a little bit more sensation there, but especially if you're not using a ball. Move the hand, moving and rotating that shoulder. And then we'll find another position for that ball if we're using a ball. So take a moment to roll, find a new trigger point. You can use your hand, give that muscle a little squeeze. And then one more round with that left arm up, fingertips reaching up. Inhale, lift. And then exhale, draw in towards that ball. 3, 2, 1. Inhale, reach. Exhale, gently press down. 3, 2, 1. Last one. Inhale, lift, and exhale, draw down. Last time. 3, 2, 1. And then inhale, arm back up overhead. And exhale, hand down by the hip. So just a few more of these, and then we'll move into our cactus arm. Just finding that pace of breath. Really, again, emphasizing the exhale, even when we get into those really gnarly, tough places, which tend to cause us to hold the breath, which is just part of our nervous system's safety mechanism. It thinks that it's protecting us, but it causes us to tighten up. So to bypass that natural response, we want to Exhale, all the way out, drop that bottom jaw. Breathe out of the mouth if you need to. All right, grab that ball if you're using the ball, find a new spot. We're gonna come into that cactus arm on that left side. So again, the palm is open to the ceiling, elbow in line with the shoulder, and then elbow also in line with the wrist. Inhale with the palm up, and then exhale, rotate the shoulder so the fingers are pointing down. Inhale, palm up. Exhale, palm down. Keeping that 90-degree bend, so just rotating through the shoulder. Inhale, and exhale. And then we can take that ball out. Use your opposite hand to place that ball, or just using your fingertips in the pectoral muscle. So I'm just going to sit up again so you can see we're rolling right inside that shoulder joint, across towards the center of the chest, back in and down around that armpit. Anywhere that you feel those little trigger points, you'll know if you've hit them. They're pretty loud. They'll talk to you. Again, just focusing on that breath. Exhale. Let that tension out of the body. You can imagine dispelling that tension out with the breath, letting it fall out of the mouth. And just a couple more breaths here. Getting into all those little tight corners across the chest. Okay, and then without the ball, all of us now, so you can place your ball off to the side, back into that cactus position. So now you might notice difference in your range of motion. Palm open, inhale, and then exhale, rotate through the shoulder, palm down. Inhale, open, palm up, exhale, palm down. And now you might notice a very vast difference between the two sides as well. When you're doing this at home, you can go back and do your tighter side again for a few more repetitions. Okay, so just last breath here. And then we'll open those arms wide again. Turn the palms down, snuggle those shoulder blades in towards the spine. So the chest and the shoulders are open. We're going to bend the left elbow, slide that left hand just underneath the small of the lower back. So just between the lower back and the floor, there's a little bit of a curve there. Roll that left shoulder open. You can stay looking up towards the ceiling, or we can look down that right arm towards those right fingers. And this feels so much different on this side. I can almost relax here on this side and just stay here. The first side, the right side. Definitely have to focus on that exhale. And all the way out. One or two more breaths here, depending on the length of your breath. And we'll look back up towards the ceiling. Slide that left hand out, big breath in. Exhale, left arm on top again. Give yourself a nice big hug, chin to chest. If you want, you can lift the head, do a little rock. And then we'll roll over onto our side and all the way up. And take a moment to come onto the hands and knees now. If you're on a hard floor, or you're somebody who just has sensitive knees, you can use your folded blanket or towel, or you can double up your yoga mat underneath your knees. And we're going to come into a tabletop position, so shoulders over the wrists, hips over the knees, and then we're just going to let the head get heavy here. So kind of like our cat stretch, but really just focus on the head being heavy. Give it a little shake side to side, up and down. And then just gently lifting the back of the heart, so shoulder blades away from the spine, like you're lifting the upper back towards the ceiling. But then reminding yourself to relax the neck, the jaw, maybe the eyes are closed, maybe give the head a little shake again. And then we're going to take the knees a little bit wider, bring the big toes in towards each other, sit the hips towards the heels for child's pose, and then forehead towards the floor. And if the forehead doesn't touch the floor, you can bring the hands under the forehead or use a cushion or a block, or you can do a little hot potato with the hands. If child's pose doesn't feel good for you, you can just come back into that relaxed cat stretch as well. And we'll just take a couple of deep breaths here. I invite you again to let that exhale just fall out of the mouth. And then lifting your head, you're just going to look forward and slide all the way onto your tummy. Give those hips a little bit of a wiggle. Take the feet a comfortable distance apart, so as wide as you want them to be. Our hands are going to stay underneath our shoulders. We're going to keep our gaze down, so we're looking down towards the floor, and we're going to just press our pubic bone down and then lift the head and chest, but keep your gaze down so the back of the neck is long. And then we're going to slide our fingers forward and come onto our forearms. So we're in a Sphinx pose, but we're looking downwards. So the back of the neck is long. Think about dropping the shoulders down. Any pinching in the lower back, we can walk the hands further forward so we're not at such a high angle. And then exhale, chin towards the chest, just like we did at the beginning, rotating from the top of the spine. And then we're going to inhale, lengthen back out. And then exhale, you're going to look over your right shoulder. Inhale, back to center, lengthen out. Exhale, look over your left shoulder. Inhale, back to center. And then exhale, walk the elbows out. Bring the hands under the shoulders. You're going to press back to child's pose, hips towards the heels. And then hands under the shoulders. Roll yourself up. We're going to come back into a seated position. So I'm going to sit on my bolster just because it's more comfortable to sit on something, but you don't have to sit on something. So a couple of deeper shoulder and neck stretches here. One more little mobility move. I think we did this last time, the magic genie move. So we're just going to start nice and tall and look over the right shoulder. And we're just going to pause here. Notice anywhere that you feel tension, anywhere that you feel relaxed now. Notice your range of motion. Maybe find something that you can see just out of the corner of your eye. And then we're going to come back to center. So the whole spine stays neutral. We're just moving the elbows. We're going to come into our magic genie arms so that the right arm is on the bottom and the left arm is on top. Now we're going to inhale here at center, and then we're just moving the elbows to the left side. Exhale. Inhale back to center, and exhale just to the left. Keep looking at your screen. Inhale back to center. Exhale just to the left. Whole spine stays neutral. Inhale. Exhale, just reaching those elbows. Maybe one or two more times, depending on how slow or fast you're going. And then once you get back to center, releasing the arms, shoulders a little roll. And I'm going to look back over that right shoulder. Remember that first spot that you could see, and hopefully we can see further than it again. And if you can't see further, you might have to do some more of those. So let's try that to the second side. So coming back to center, and then just looking over the left shoulder. Again, just pausing here for a moment just to notice what it feels like. Any tension, any sensation, any softness, relaxation. Maybe finding that spot out of the corner of your eye that you can just see, remembering that spot, and then coming back to center. So this time the left arm is on the bottom and the right arm is on top. sitting up nice and tall, neutral spine. Inhale here, and then exhale, elbows just to the right now. And then inhale back to center. Exhale just to the right. Inhale, center, nice and tall. Exhale, right. Just trying to move with your own breath. Again, it's a small movement. All these movements are just really mindful movements. It's kind of going through that end range of movement. Maybe one more. And then once you're back to center, just releasing the arms. Get those shoulders a roll. And then nice and slow, sitting up tall, we'll look over that left shoulder again. Remember that first spot you could see. Hopefully you have a little bit more range of movement here. And then coming back to center, hopefully you found the magic genie. So a couple more deep stretches. I actually just recently found another really great neck stretch and threw my neck out about a month ago. And I did a yoga therapy session through Yoga International. And even in the midst of having one of those like really pulled muscles in my neck, I found some relief and some release. So it's one of my new favorite moves. It is in a seated cross-legged position, so if you're not comfortable sitting cross-legged, you can also sit in a chair. It's gonna be a little bit more of a twist here. So if you're somebody who also has back issues, keep it really moderate. Don't go for a really big, deep back bend. Just kind of ease your way into it because we're gonna hold it for a little while. So we're gonna start to the right. So you're gonna take your left hand, palm out, and we're gonna rotate. So inhale, lengthen, exhale, start to twist. And we want to bring the outside of the hand to the back of the knee. So outside of the left hand to the back of the right knee. So our palm is open so that we're rotating the shoulder open. So we don't want this. We want shoulders down nice and wide through the collarbones. We're going to do the same thing with the other hand. So the right palm is open. We're going to take it back behind us. So inhale, lengthen, open, exhale, twist, and then if you can, you're going to tuck those fingertips behind you. So I'm just going to turn so that you can see what this looks like from the back. So outside of the left hand to the back of the right knee. Both palms are open. And I'm rotating externally through the shoulders so that my chest is open. My shoulder blades are coming in towards my spine. So now if you're finding this really difficult, just come out of it a little bit. Or sit on your couch or a chair so that instead of the knees being wide, if you're sitting in a chair, you can have the knees closer together so you're not in such a deep twist. And we're still holding this. Each inhale you're lengthening, and each exhale, I want you to feel the rib cage compress inwards naturally with that exhale. And kind of wrap around the spine, bringing you deeper into that twist. So we're not pulling on the hands to pull us into the twist. We're using the breath. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, feel the breath and those core muscles and the ribs wrap around the spine. Now you're going to start to turn your head back slowly towards that right shoulder. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, looking back over that right shoulder. And if it doesn't go all the way, that's okay. Just go to your end range of motion. Stay there and breathe. We always want to work just to our edge. So we're not kind of forcing ourselves and fighting with our body to hold the stretch. Rather, we're easing into it and into the sensation. Now the whole body is going to stay where it is. We're just going to start to slowly move the neck in the opposite direction. So now we're bringing the head back to neutral between the shoulders. And then as you exhale, slowly starting to now look over the left shoulder. Keeping that right shoulder open. And now when we hold yoga poses for a long time, but we do it moderately and with some support, we're getting into the fascia, the connective tissue, which is where we tend to hold a lot of tension, not just in the muscle. Our mayo-fascia is actually the connective tissue that holds our muscles. So we want to create some change there, some length, some space, some more elasticity. If we don't move, it becomes hard. And now you can keep the head at the angle it is. And as you exhale, just start to release the hands and bring the hands back into your lap and then face forward. And then if you need to, you can do some shoulder rolls or some shoulder shrugs. Just before we do the other side. So, second side, nice and tall. Right hand first, palm out. You're going to start to rotate so the back of that right hand comes to the outside of the left knee. Externally rotating that shoulder. Inhale nice and tall. Exhale, start to wrap those ribs and those core muscles around the spine. Take the left hand out, turn the palm out, rotate the shoulder outwards. Start to bring those fingertips behind you. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, twist. Again, if you find this difficult in a cross-legged position, you can also just straighten the legs so that the knees are closer together, so that you're not in such a wide twist, because that knee's way out there, right? So work with your body rather than fighting against it, just so that it looks a certain way. Focus on what it feels like, and keep using that breath. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, wrap around the spine to twist. Don't crank with the hands or the arms. They're just there for support. Use the breath, use that core. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, twist. Start to turn the head over that back shoulder just as far as you're able to. Two more breaths here. And then keep the body where it is. Just start to let the head come back to neutral, in between the shoulders, nice and slow. And then starting to turn over the other shoulder now. So now over the right shoulder. I'm doing this nice and slow, mindful movement. Keep inhaling to lengthen, exhaling to twist. Wherever you feel the most sensation or the tightest, see if you can ease into that space with the breath. And if you're really struggling to hold, come out just a little bit, relax the arms a little bit, and then re-grip, come back into it. So it's a little softer. It's more like we're exhaling and releasing into the twist rather than pulling into the twist. And then head stays where it is, and on your next exhale, we'll just slowly release the arms and the hands, and then face the front, and roll the shoulders. Let's just sweep those arms up nice and tall. Big breath in, inhale. Bring the palms together, exhale, thumbs to your heart. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Palms together, exhale, thumbs to the heart. And we'll do that one more time, just to move those arms. Inhale, and exhale. Good. And we're gonna roll onto our backs now. Just a nice counter pose for all that neck stuff. Bring the knees into the chest. We're going to hold on to the tops of the knees. And just gently rock in and out with the breath. So inhale, the knees come away as the arms straighten. And then exhale, the knees come back into the chest. Inhale, open, exhale, draw in. And just do this with your own breath. If you want to, add the neck in, and you want to exhale and bring the forehead towards the knee, and come into a tight little ball, you're welcome to. If that doesn't feel good or you want to keep it more relaxed, just keep the head and shoulders resting on the floor. And then you can rock the knees a little side to side or do some circles. Or maybe some windshield wipers. You can take the feet down and just move the knees side to side. We didn't really do anything with the lower body, so take a moment to get some movement into those hips. And then you can start to get comfortable here. So take the legs out, arms out. If you have a bolster or a cushion you want to tuck underneath your knees, you can do that. If you want to tuck your blanket under your knees or your head, you want to cover yourself up, you can do that as well. So just find your space here, get comfortable. Eyes soft or closed. Adjust any of your clothing that you need to. And then just like we did at the beginning, start to come back to just noticing. So once you've settled into your space, noticing any physical, tactile sensations that you're feeling. Anywhere that you feel warm, cool, anywhere you feel tension or relaxation, numbness, tingling, aliveness, energy. Anywhere you feel the breath. Notice if you're gripping or holding anywhere, can you let that go? We're actually going to do a little bit of a guided relaxation for that, just so that we make sure that we're completely letting go. Take your awareness to your right foot. You're going to scrunch up the right toes, the bottom of the right foot. Inhale, and then exhale, let that right foot relax. Those toes release. And then we're going to scrunch up those toes again. Squeeze the bottom of the foot. You can curl up the foot a little bit. Then squeeze the calf muscle up to the knee. Inhale. And then exhale, relax the calf muscle, the foot, the toes. So again, we're going to do the toes, squeeze them, the foot, the ankle, the calf muscle, the shin, the knee, the upper thigh, the inner thigh, the hamstring, even that right glute and hip. Squeeze that whole right leg, inhale, and then exhale, let that whole right leg relax. Hip to knee, to ankle, to heel, to toes. And then take your awareness to your left side. Just scrunch up the toes, the bottom of the foot, inhale, and then exhale, relax the left toes and the bottom of the left foot. And then scrunch up the left toes again, the bottom of the left foot, the ankle, the calf, the shin, all the way up to the knee. Inhale, and then exhale, release from the knee to the ankle, to the foot, to the toes. And then all the way up. So toes, bottom of the foot, ankle, calf muscle, shin, knee, hamstring, quadricep muscle, inner outer thigh, hip, glute, squeeze. Inhale, and then exhale, relax. Hip to knee, to ankle, to foot, to toes. So both legs are completely relaxed now, let them go. Now take your awareness back to your hips, and your pubic bone, and your lower belly. We're going to squeeze the pubic bone towards the belly button, and the front of the hips towards the belly button. Inhale, and then exhale, relax. And then the tailbone, the base of the spine. Towards the back of the belly button, squeeze the lower back muscles. And exhale, relax. And now from the belly button to the ribs, all the way around the spine, like you're hugging the spine. Inhale, and then exhale, relax. So that whole lower body is relaxed now, all the way from the belly button down. And now we're just going to squeeze the ribs, the upper back, and the chest. Inhale, and then exhale, relax. And now squeeze both shoulders up towards the ears. Inhale, and then exhale, relax. And now squeeze the shoulders up to the ears again. Both shoulders, the right and the left, and then squeeze to the elbows, the bicep muscles to the bones. And then exhale, relax. And then one more time, the shoulders to the ears, squeeze the biceps to the elbows to the wrists, and then squeeze both fists. Inhale, and then exhale, relax. Both arms, both shoulders heavy. And now the back of the neck and the throat, squeeze. Inhale, a little bit of a strained breath as we're squeezing, and then exhale, let go. And now squeeze the jaw, and the muscles in the face, corners of the eyes, the nose, the forehead. Inhale. Exhale, relax. And now as you inhale, spread the fingers and the toes wide. Reach out through the tailbone and the crown of the head like you're extending and getting longer. Inhale. And exhale, relax. And now just let everything get heavy here for a moment. Nowhere to be, nothing to do. Just softly breathe. Notice if you're clenching or holding anywhere else. And exhale, let go. Stay relaxed here. Just start to bring your awareness back to your space, your body. Just noticing the parts of your body that are in contact with the surface below you. Noticing what the breath feels like now. Take one more deep breath in. See if you can extend that breath all the way down towards the toes. And then exhale, let it fall out of the mouth. Start to wiggle the fingers and toes now. Take a moment to draw the knees in towards the chest. Give yourself a little rock side to side. Roll over to one side. Pause there for a moment. Rest your head on your bottom arm. And then take your time to come up to a seated position. And we'll close our practice with 3 throat chakra mantras. So instead of 3 ohms, we're going to chant HAM with H-A-M. Our throat chakra and the vibration of humming, or our mantra HAM, that sound. So you can hum or you can say HAM. That vibration in the throat chakra actually activates the vagus nerve, which is the main nerve that runs from our brain down our spinal column into all sorts of different parts of our body. And it's our main nerve of our nervous system that is responsible for our parasympathetic nervous system, bringing us into that rest and digest. So when we are fearful or anxious or unsure, especially during these times, this is a great way to calm that nervous system and bring us into a state of peace and calm. So we're chanting HAM, or just humming, 3 times. So we're all going to inhale, big breath, down towards the bottom of the ribs, using that diaphragm muscle. Inhale. Last one, inhale. Stay here for a moment. Feel that vibration in your body. Just notice the sensation of that. And bring the palms together, thumbs to the heart. And I want to thank each of you for joining me for this practice. May you be healthy, may you be happy, may you be safe. Namaste. Turn everybody's volume back on. If I can see it without my glasses. Ooh.